Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, I should say. It's Kathy Arbor here, and this is another sketching, I guess, for beginners, and what to do in a sketchbook or art journal. What I have here is an old, well, it's not really old, but it's a inexpensive sketchbook I got at Michael's, and it's just very, it's not that thick a paper, but I have used watercolor and ink in it, not markers though. And it's held up pretty good. So I thought I would show you the different ways of sketching in ink. And I have been doing this for a little while, not a long time though, but I do enjoy it, and I really like the look with the watercolor washes. It's not necessarily a really fine detail. Hi, Julie. As you can see here, the paint is outside the lines, and but I like that loose kind of look that you get with this type of sketching. Hey, Judy. And so I thought I would do an ink and watercolor wash today of a winter scene, since it's Mother Nature decided to go full force here with the snow, and we got like 18 inches of snow yesterday. So I thought I would do something with a snowy scene. This is was done last year. I've been kind of busy doing renovations, so I haven't really kept up with it. But now that my renovations are done, I'm concentrating more on doing YouTube videos and sketching and maybe some classes. And hey, Janet. And we'll see what the future brings. If I got a lot of interest in classes, I might do a subscription type thing on Teachable and see what kind of results I get. Something new for me. I used to teach when I had my store. So I taught for 10 years, and I really enjoyed it. So now that I'm getting close to the end of my real job, I worked for my brother for 18 years, and he sold the company, and he's going to retire. And I think that's fantastic, considering he's 71 years old. And yeah, so I thought, well, I guess I should start doing something I enjoy. What do I need to get out? I'm just going to do ink and watercolor, Janet. Hi, Shauna. And I'm just using the B paper. Just this, I think this is 5x7. And we're going to do a winter scene. Showing the, what was this called? Fibs, I can't remember what we called it. I don't know if I wrote it down in here or not. Yep, Fib Sketch-A-Day. This was Fib Sketch-A-Day. It was fun. I really enjoyed it. Some are a little, as you can see from the beginning, it was kind of simple. Wasn't the greatest. And then as I get going, I see a difference in how my style is, which is interesting. It's always neat to look back at your sketchbooks, see what kind of progress you get. Yeah, that was fun. I really should have. Like, Carol puts me to shame, puts everybody to shame, I think. She's still at it. Like, kudos to Carol. Like, holy geez, dedication or what? But I want to get back into it. I do really enjoy it, and I really look forward to doing it every day when I did it. But like, everyone else, you get busy and your time gets used up with other things. It's hard to get back into it. And with me, I'm not one to do a sketch for 5-10 minutes. My sketches are like an hour. And I'm not one to do a lot of art in the evening. I don't know why, but I prefer not to. I like to just relax. Just watch TV or whatever. Watch you guys stream. So some of them I used ink, some I didn't. Like this one is just pencil, graphite. That's just graphite. And I think this one's is graphite too. That was some white pen. Graphite again. You can see the ink bled through. So it's not the greatest paper. But it's fun. And I want to continue doing this again. I also think I would like to try the Sketch Your Day. I know a number of us got the book. And I so love her style. This one, Sketch Your Day. Am I still on? I don't see chat moving at all. Someone want to type in chat for me? Thank you. Hi, AJ. You never know with the internet. I like how she combines everything she did in her day or week. And she makes it into a sketching collage. I love that. I think it's such a neat, instead of a diary per se, like doing, all writing, she does do some writing, but she also uses it. Like she puts this part here. She does it in different ways, is the date and the weather. I think this is so cute. And I'd like to try to get doing that type of style. So you can write a little bit about it, but most of it's pictures. I'll show you some of them in the back here. And she tells you how she goes about doing it. So, excuse me. Some have more writing than others. And as you can see, it's not like perfect writing, small, large. Can you show us your magic pit pens? Yep. Oh, thank you, Jilly. Yes, I will. I'm glad you reminded me. But I think this is so cute. See, there's the 11/17 and the date. And see, she's got the sun here, high 20 or 62. So in some way, she puts there's the sun there. She usually has a cup of coffee in it. Or she writes the date. And sometimes she actually, for the weather, she actually draws it in some way. I've seen some of them. Where is it? She puts, different designs and that type of thing. February. There. So here was a real dismal day. So she put raindrops in it. All the boots for winter. I think that is so cute. Coffee and fibs, yep. Exactly, Jilly. But I just love this. There's the sun again. I've got quite a few different books that show people's sketchbooks or visual diaries, I guess you could call them. And it's so interesting to see how they go about it. I just think it's a neat idea, and it would get you sketching. And if you're one that enjoys writing about your day, you could do that. So it combines the two. Yeah. So I think that's one of the things I'm going to start this year is a visual diary per se. This was just sketching, which is good too because it helps you figure out things. Like if you notice in the beginning, see, I outlined everything with the pen. And then I learned you don't have to outline everything. Yeah, it shouldn't have to take a long time. Because they're very simple. They're not really, terribly detailed. And the more you do, the easier it gets. And that's what I like about ink and washes is it doesn't have to be real detailed. So if you're in a hurry one day, but you really want to do something, you can still do it. But I like doing these because it just helps you figure things out in how to do certain things. Let's see. That's cute. I need that book. Okay, so Jilly, you said you had watercolor markers, was it? And you were wondering if you needed both watercolor and the pit markers and what the differences would be. So I will show you. I think I have a lot in there. No, it's just in here. Well, I can do something on this. Okay, this is depending on what your substrate is. This here has acrylic paint on it. I glued a bunch of papers with matte medium. So it's basically the paper won't soak any marker up. It's going to sit on the top of your page. And What? Where's my tail markers? Let's see. Is it watercolor markers, Jilly? Like these, the clean color real brush mark by Zig. This is what I have. Or is it just like your Crayola markers, super tips or something? Just waiting. See what she says. I got a real long leg. Yes, watercolor Zig or okay. Okay, so these, let's see, what can we color in here? Probably give her a shadow. So let's get a, okay, here's a gray. Now, if I use this, it gives a real definite line. And it's kind of hard to blend out. You kind of have to have another watercolor brush, which I do have here, to blend it out. And then if you decided that you wanted to do something over top of it with whatever, more paint or something else, this is usually done last, but sometimes you want to go over it again. If you were to go over it with a brush and some wet media, paint or whatever, it's going to move. It's not going to, because it's sitting on the top of your paper now, because you have media on it that stops it from soaking in. So it's not going to move. It's not going to absorb into the paper. So it can always move no matter what, unless you're satisfied where it is and you spray adhesive on it. Hi, Dot. But if you have the pit markers, what I like about these are you can like, well, I did use it on the face here, but you can, oh, it's not really dark enough for you, but you can do a line where, say you want shade, and then you got enough time to smudge it out. So it's not a definite line. And then that's not going to move afterwards. And this is permanent. So if you've got just watercolor, say you're using a watercolor, then I would probably use your watercolor pens, but these wouldn't work. These would absorb into your paper and there's no way it would move for you. So these are great if your substrate or paint is already sealed. And so it depends on how much acrylic paint you're using or some type of medium that seals whatever you've just put down. Hi, Kenny. Hi, Kim. So if you're one that uses mostly water-soluble product, then I would probably stick to just keeping your watercolor. If you're one that use acrylics, then I would probably get these. Any other questions? Hope I explained it for you. Okay. So it's basically what do you use mostly? Or, you know, some people don't like acrylics, so you wouldn't need these. The pens would be perfectly fine. All right, so right. Okay, so I thought today I would do out of this book. And if you're interested in getting this book, you can go on my channel, and in the description in my channel about me, you'll see the links for Amazon, and all these books that I show will be in my shop. And I would appreciate it if you could do that, because it gives me a few pennies. And it doesn't cost you anything. Now, this one, it's the snow one. I thought, I love this. And it's very, very simple. It doesn't look simple, but it is simple. Now, the only thing I'm not going to be doing is the snowflakes like she did. She actually used the salt for this. So if you want to use salt, you can use salt. But it'll take a little longer for it to react, so you'll have to let it dry. Now, the only thing I can say about the salt is there is a special time to apply it. If you apply it when it's almost dry, it doesn't give you as much of an effect. And the same thing if you put it on when your paper looks shiny, it also won't give the same effect. It has to be in between those two for it to give it a really nice effect. And you can use any kind of salt. Doesn't matter. You could use table salt. You could use rock salt. The different sizes will give you different looks also. And you gotta leave it alone and let it dry naturally. Do not put a hair blower on it or a hair dryer or heat gun, because it will stop it from giving the effect. It has to dry naturally. So I thought we could do that. And then I have some books to show you. Okay, let me just move this up a little bit. Get this in so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, is that good? Anyone that's arting along? Mine will be a little squished because it's a bit different. And I'm just going to, with a pencil, I like to put in where my trees and whatnot are. So you just basically draw in the areas that you want to remember. If not, you can wing it and do it yourself. But I like to put my stuff in. So we'll have, let's see, fence posts here. Oh, I better do that just in case it's my son. He's supposed to be coming today. It's him. He's on his way. All right. I didn't know if you said yet, but which salt do you use? Table salt? Yeah, I use the table salt. It doesn't matter what kind, really. Different sizes will give you different effects. So you could actually do a whole paper and wash it all and place your different types of salt on it, and then write which size you used, and then you could see what kind of effects each give. You could also do it at certain times to see what the effect would be. Right? Okay, so we got posts here. Not sure what they are, but and then some a little bit of snow in here. And then the trees. Looks like a cluster of them. So we can just kind of show where they are. And they don't have to be straight. A lot of trees lean a lot of in the wild, so it's kind of nice to look at that. And we'll just overlapping branches are nice. And then right here is the grass. And then the snow comes up. A bit of grass in here. Tufts in here. And not sure what that is. What could be bulrushes that are bent? I don't know. Or it could be the bridge itself. It's hard to tell. So just do a few odds and sods here. And that's it. Now, it looks like they've done a wash on the top part here. So you would do that first. So I'm going to wet my paper. And go right over top of the trees. Because it's a very light wash, I don't have to worry about it too much. And then we've got some nice blue, kind of a gray blue. Let's see. What should we use? We actually have some blue already that's on my palette from the last time that I think I'll, because we want it very, very light. It's kind of moody looking. A little darker with maybe a bit of gray in it. So if I add a little bit, let's see, sienna maybe, gray it down. Let's see. It's almost greenish blue, actually. Put some. Such a very faint. A little bit of umber with it. Let it. And then the, if you see the snow, it's kind of a greenish color. So I'm just going to water it down even more. And you kind of remember how the snow drifts would go. So it's, you got a bit of a bank coming in here. So we're just going to add some of this to it. Maybe a little bit of umber with it. Across here. A bit of a hill here, so I want to show that a bit. And then really water it down for the I'm just going to put a wash on the water here. So I don't want it to be white. I don't want to go across so that it's just got a bit of pattern to it, not a lot though. Okay. Now if you see here, it's very, very more of an umber color or ochre you could use. Let's get some ochre here. And I'm gonna throw it on here. So this one's going to be more about the pen work than the paint itself. So have some bushes right in here. Okay. Let's go there. Actually, just color that in there too, because we'll use the background as the wood color. So very, very loose. Paper towel. I'm going to take some of this where the poles are and just going to take the color out of there. It's still fairly wet, so I can remove a lot of that. Okay. I'm going to let that dry a little bit. I've got a little bit of a darker, what was this one called? Daniel Smith German. No, greenish raw umber. So it's just got a tad of green. It's actually really nice. I like it. So I'm going to put a little bit on the bottom here where the grass would be more dense. So it gives a little bit more shadowing. Doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to be putting quite a bit of pen work. But I do want to have some darker areas, like under the bridge here, darker. Hey, Susan. Okay, so we'll let that dry. Now, I can just see a bit of a sheen on this sky here. I'm not going to put the salt on because I don't want to wait that long for it to dry. So I'm going to let this dry a bit, and then I'm going to use my heat gun because I'm not waiting for any effects to take hold, so I'm going to use my heat gun. Hey, Kathy. No problem. Did you get snowed in there? I saw the snow was hitting you guys pretty good too. Before it hit me. We got about 18 inches. No snow? Wow. Really? Sheesh. Guess it held its breath till it came over the lake. And then dumped on us. We got a lot of squalls, lake effect. Hey, Debbie. Yeah, my neighbors took pity on me and blew me my driveway out for me. Thank goodness. I did one pathway for the dogs, and my arms started hurting, and oh my gosh. I had to dig a path for the little guys. They were buried. Short dogs. Yeah, we get a lot. That's for sure. All right, so you can see how the adding the little bit of that greenish, what was it again? Um, German greenish raw umber um, from Daniel Smith gives it a kind of that overcast look. It's really neat, but there's you can still kind of see the clouds in it. So now I could either finish doing the trees, um, or I could do the pen work first. It wouldn't really matter, but I think I'll do the trees. I think I'll use this brush here. So I want a fairly um, small brush. This is a number 2, and I'm going to use more of that greenish color. And so I'm going on one side first because that'll be the shaded areas. So it's just basically, it's kind of like scripting with the script brush, but I like the shorter script brushes. There's a few of them out there now that you can get. I don't know. I think you have more control with the shorter ones for me anyways. As you get up, you want shorter or thinner lines. You don't have to do all the lines in your watercolor. Leave a lot of it for your line work. Yeah, I was just going to ask, has anyone seen um, Eileen? I did see her yesterday, but haven't seen her today. think I'll do a few lines in here. Just quick. Here, tufts. So it's just flicking your paintbrush. Don't do them all standing up like soldiers because it's winter time, so that you'll see a bunch of broken ones. So give some broken ones too. Make a little thicker paint concentration on the bottom. Gives it depth. Same with the trees on the bottom. Give it a little more color. And I think I will put a little bit more where's my brush, of that color along the line of those grasses. I think it needs to be a little bit darker. Just blend it out a little bit. You don't have to get crazy about it, but I thought it looked just a tad bit too light there. Maybe under here too. It's a little darker. And here. There. Okay. Okay, let's dry that now. You got to make sure that it's really good and dry. You don't want it to be wet at all, because your ink pens that you're using can bleed into your picture or rip your paper. All right. Now, let's see. I think we'll just, no, I think, well, she looks like she used black and sepia in hers, but I'm going to just use black, I think. And I want a really thin one. So this is a Stedler pigment liner 0.05. All right. So let's go along in here. So the water, I'm not going to outline. It's very sketchy. And there is some cross hatching. This part is the water area, so there is a definite shadow in some of this. And there's some rocks, and so we could put some rocks in here. Let's see. Bigger rocks. They would be, the bottoms of the rocks would be flat, so just remember that. And then you just do a little bit of cross hatching on the bottom part of the rock to give them a little bit of shadowing. Very simple. You can follow the line of the paint if you want, or not. That's what I like about this, is you don't have to stay with the line, in the line, so you don't have to color within the lines. So it's very dark around the edge. You can do cross hatching or squiggles, whatever you think would look good. And there's some other vegetation in there that you could add. Some more rocks, make the rocks darker. So there's really no wrong way of doing this. Just play. This is how you find out how to do things. So don't be scared just to try something in your sketchbook. This is what it's for. If it doesn't turn out, doesn't turn out. You just continue on and try something else. That's what the sketchbook's for, is for learning. Okay, let's do the, I'm not sure what these are. I think they're posts, but I'm not sure. But we're gonna just put some lines in here and let the mind of whoever's looking at it figure it out. You give a suggestion of whatever. It's kind of like you're not sure, so you kind of do a messy job and then hope the person that's looking at it knows what it is. A lot of cross hatching in here. It's very dark, so that's what I'll do. So is anyone else trying this? Or is it just me and Janet? Try it. You don't have to do exactly what they did. Do add more plants, add trees. It doesn't have to be the exact copy. This is just a reference. Okay. We'll give, looks like some of these are bulrushes, so we'll put some bulrush tops on them. And then over here, some little specks, little squiggles. It's a grassy area. And concentrating the grass area more darker on the bottom and then less lines on the top. And that gives it kind of an airy feeling. So I'm not going exactly to what these guys or what she did. And I'm going to put a little bit of marks for where maybe the snow is going down into the stream. A little bit more. There might be some brush where this grass is. Just a bunch of squiggles. I think this needs to be a little darker along the edge. Just to define where the water's edge is. Hey, Lena. Yeah, it's a Claudine Nice book. And just straight up do a bunch of lines. Because this pen is waterproof, I can go back on top of this if I so want to darken the bottoms again. Totally up to me. That's the nice thing about using watercolor with permanent ink. You don't have to worry about the ink messing up. And again, don't make perfect lines that are straight and parallel with each other. It's wintertime, the grass is dead, so it's been bent by the wind or animals, so it's not going to be perfect. I think I have to put some more watercolor over the bottom of these. This is a very fine pen. It's a 0.05. Okay, and then posts here. This is, I think, a little bridge of some sort. Not sure. It'll be a little bit of darker lines just so that it stands out a little bit. Oh, are you doing this too, or are you doing something on your own, Lena? Okay, so do the trees. So one side's going to be more shadowed than the other. Now it depends how fussy you want to get with the trees. You could spend a long time doing these. They have a lot of branches. And you could go back with your script liner and put more lines in if you so desire. As they go up, you get more slender a line and they branch off. Now you could probably, if you wanted to, the trunk, you could do it in a thicker pen width, make it a little easier. Let's see. This one is a 5. Like that. Oh yeah, it works. Not very good though. No, it's dry. I think I got some paint on it. Let's try this one. This is a 5. It's a little thicker. Again, I'm staying on the shadowed side more than anything. You don't have to do every single line, like outline it. Even if you just emphasize just parts of the shadow, I think it looks nicer myself. Because if you start outlining everything, kind of looks like a cartoon in a way, or a coloring book outline. I like more of a sketchy look to my sketching. You can always go back in and put more paint lines in. Oh, not in the picture. Sorry, guys. Okay, so I'm just going to blast this with the heat gun to dry the ink. I'm painting along with you using a skinny reference. So that's great. I'll have to post it when you're done, Lena and Janet. And anyone else doing it? Okay, so I think I'm going the script brush again, number 2, and it's one of the silver black velvets. Put my paint. You know what? Just lightly, I'm going to make a bunch of twigs. In the same color as the grass. It just gives it a little bit of background of all the limbs instead of having to draw them all in. All right, and then I'm just going to go back to that color again, that German greenish brown, and I'm just going to raise this so it's not so even. Just soften it a little bit. More down here. I just want a little bit more darkness on the bottom. Here. Dry brush it, basically. It's kind of a messy. Then here has to be a little bit darker. I have that kind of a greenish color. So I just want to add a little bit spots more around this part. No, that's too. And then maybe a tad in the snow, just a bit. Just where the, get me a little bit of brown. Edge there. All right. Now I'm going to dry that. Thanks, Kenny. All right, let's do some snow. So I got some of the Winsor Newton here of the gouache. Let's see, I need something to put it in. Oh, I'll put it, no. Find a thing to put it on. I got a tray here. I'm just gonna put a dab. And I'm gonna add water to it. And I'm gonna use a fan brush. And then I'm gonna flick the brush. You want a fair amount because some of them will end up blending in with that darker color. So you gotta let that dry. Just like blow that dry. There. So some of them aren't as bright as this, definitely, but you could go back on top of it with acrylic paint if you wanted to get the really, really bright, or Posca pen. Let's see. I just do whatever. I want a little bit of, just every once in a while, put some of these in. Just around. Let them dry. So it's a little different than this one, but you know, like I said, you don't have to do it exactly. Thanks, Judy. Need to write a book. Thanks. All right. And then just sign it. The date. Today is 19th. 12/19. 1990. It's all right. We all know what you're saying. So, you know, if you want, you can add more, whatever. This is just washi tape I used. Let's see if it comes off. There. Voila! She's done. So there's the water, and see, it's kind of nice to have the bright snow and the the not bright snow. Tree. Yeah. So it's simple because you're not really focused on really intense photorealism. It's the essence of what you're looking for. So your mind actually fills in anything that's not there. Thanks, Dot. Thanks, everyone. What? Have you got this book, Janet? Aw, thanks, Kenny. Yeah, it's fun. I love doing these. Thanks, Jilly. So, try them. Put them in a book I showed you. What did this take me? Not very long, but yeah. And you can pick out what you don't want in it. And, I do have the book. Snow shadows are awkward, I think. Yeah, they can be. You kind of have to study them a little bit. I have actually a video on how to draw snow with little tufts of grass. I think it was hashtag I love winter or something like that. But it does show you how that was for acrylic, but it could apply to this type of work too. So we'll put that aside for now. And I'll show you some of the books. I bought 2 books. And I love these books because it's this type of work. It's about sketching and different styles. These books are really great for teaching you different styles. Again, people and figures, that type of thing also. And this is one of them here. This is such an awesome book. I want to get a bunch more of these. This is the first one I got, and I actually saw someone flip through it and saw it. I've never seen them in my stores. I think they're a UK book, actually, and Character Design Quarterly. And these are fantastic. Look at this. The inside cover and the back cover is a step-by-step how to draw things. And these are so cute. I love this little pig. It shows you and tells you exactly how, about dimension, about shape, again, using the shapes again, guys, like I taught you. And then again, there's the shape, triangles for the nose and how to do the expressions in the face, and it's so cool. But this is a really good book. I I love character design. I always have. And this is a great book because it tells you how to draw emotion and how emotion goes into the body also in how they stand. Someone that's sad stands differently than someone that's happy or proud. It's awesome, awesome book. And it's a quarterly book, so there are quite a few. I think this is number 10. There's they're not bad priced. $16 US. So you pay that for a magazine, and these are done so well as far as teaching. That's what I loved. And it's just not about digi, it's also about drawing. Here's the back. It tells you about expression, happy expression, how to draw it, what to look for, the eyebrows, eyes and mouth, how they should be. You know, it's awesome. I think it's such a great book. So if you're interested in, like, I know a lot of people wanted to do the faces. Well, these are basic faces, but they're showing how to bring them alive with some kind of emotion. So when they do that, and that's what character design is it's not about the detail in the face, it's about the emotion it's showing and bringing you. And this book tells you how to do that. And it's for face expression and body expression. And it gives you different artists and gives you their websites. Like, look at that. That's beautiful. And I think this was one that Colleen was talking about. She loved this style of illustration where there's really no shading per se, but it's all in how it's been drawn, and it gives that gives it expression again. Like, this is very simple, but you know he's worried or scared. So quite a few pages in this book, and it's awesome. Nice paper too. So this was a great book. The next one is like, oh my gosh. Look at this book. Sketch Every Day. 200 pages of art and sketching techniques by Simone Grunwald. And this is character design also, but I think from what I'm getting from a lot of you wanting to draw figures, this I think is more in the lines of what you want to be doing, more for a journal, not necessarily realistic, but you want expression and the face to tell a story. Okay, Julie. Thanks for coming. So this is her sketchbook and how she told her story through the years. And I think it's a great one to look at because just that one piece of art tells you a story. And I find that's what a lot of people have trouble with, is their work has no story when you look at it. It's just a face or object that's on the page. It doesn't give you any emotion when you look at it, but she tells you how to add that to your page. So I think these are great books to get if you're interested in having your work go to that next level of showing emotion or a story without having to add words. This is a beautiful book. It's about her struggles too, how she became an artist, finding her style, characters design, how to, how to even, if you wanted to do, say, a storyline, how you can draw the same figure knowing that it's the same face but in a different pose. Can be a very difficult thing, and she tells you how you do that. So, and how important, line work is, the fundamentals of shading, and this is a really good book. There's perspective too, depth, how to draw it, and it's very easy to read and understand. And I like it that it's put into a form of a sketchbook too. She even has little these ribbon, age, different age, color theory. Telling stories. There's emotion for eyes, noses, different shapes of heads, body proportions, hands, feet. It's got it all in here. It's a fantastic, even clothing, animals, and then it goes into scenery in the back. It's a great book. Yeah. So that was it. I showed you my my stencils from last week already. Next Thursday, what's the date? Is that the day after Christmas? Yes, it is. I'll probably be on, because I haven't got anything planned. So I will be on next Thursday also. Same time. And not sure what I'm going to be doing. Probably some more this type of stuff. Or please, please, please put comments. It helps me know what to do, because I don't want to have to go through and read the chat. So if you put your comments down below, it also is good for the algorithm when having your channel looked at or suggested by YouTube. So make sure you make a comment of something, because it does help. And if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, please do, because it lets me know that you're interested, and I'll continue doing this. So for that, I'm going to let you guys go. And if I don't see you, I'll probably see you in chat, but have a very, very Merry Christmas, and stay safe if you have to do any driving, and love you guys. So have a great night.